We're now going to create another loop that will read out each question one at a time. We will also need a variable called question number to keep track of which question we are reading out. As none of the other sprites need to know about the question number variable, we can create this for this sprite only. So we click on variables and click on make a variable and call it question number. For this sprite only. And we will start with Quizmaster telling the player which number question they're on. And we can do this by on one line by using the join block, which is just under the operators tab here. So it's just this option here, join, and in here going to write question, and in here we're going to put our variable, our newly created variable, which is question number. We can then use the ask and wait block to get a response, which will be stored into a predefined variable which is called answer. So click on sensing and click ask, and in here going to click on variables again and look for item, put that in here, change this to questions, and in here our variable question number, and wait. Right, so we want to make sure that the question's read out by the quiz show host, obviously. So we click on the looks tab here and we drag this option, say, and instead of hello, we're going to put this in here so that the question is read out for 2 seconds. We're going to put these together. We now have the following that will ask the player the question and wait for them to reply. The response will be stored as an answer, which is a block available from the sensing category here, the ask block, and the answer provided by the player is stored in the answer variable, which we're comparing against the expected answer using an if block. We want to give a different message for an incorrect answer, so we use the if else block. And to get the if else block, you click on control here and just click this one, if else, and inside this space here next to the if, we want an operator which is going to be this one, the equals operator, and inside the equals operator we're going to have again the item block of code, and put the question number in here, and if our question number equals the correct answer, which we'll put here, then we want our score to be changed, the player's score to be changed. So we click on the score variable here, the change score variable, which we want to be changed by 1, and we want the quiz show host to say something like that is correct or well done. So we'll move this here underneath. And then otherwise, else, if the answer is not correct, we want the quiz show host to say that is not correct. The correct answer is, okay, and to say what the correct answer is, which will be found again in the variables option under item and drag this question number here, and then all that shows is that the correct answer will then be given. So the next thing we want to make sure of is that the quiz show host reads the first question. So we're going to select set question number to 1, and from there we want to connect all of this grouping of code together. So we're going to start with the repeat block. We have 3 questions, so we want to type in 3 here, so all those questions get read out, and we're going to put what the quiz show host is going to say within that repeat block. So for each question, the quiz show host will read the question, then go on to the next question, read that question, and so on. Then what we need is an if-else block, which we've already made here, and that will go inside the repeat block, like so. And then at the end here, what we want to make sure of is that the question is being changed each time by 1. So we're going to go onto our variable tab, click change, and just put it on the end here within the repeat block, but outside of the if-else block, and click question number, change by 1. So the quiz show host will read 1 question at a time. As it stands, this script will run fine in terms of telling the user if they've got the question correct or incorrect, but what we want now is to give the player some more information, some more detail about how well they've done, if they've scored full marks or if they've only scored some marks. So to do this, what we need to do first is get the if-else block again from the control tab, which is here. And inside that space next to if, we're going to use this operator again, the equals operator. And inside that space there, we're going to use the variable score. So if the score equals 3, that's going to be full marks. So we want the quiz show host to say something like, well done, you've scored full marks, which is 3 points. And he'll say that for 2 seconds. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, we want the quiz show host to allude to how many marks have been scored and to say, well done, you've scored X amount of points, if so long as it's greater than 0. So what we need is another if-else block nested inside this if-else block, and we're going to use the operator greater than this time, because what we want to say is if the score is greater than 0, then say and we use the operator here, the join operator again. Well done, you've scored, and inside here, this space, we want to put the score variable. So it will give the player an exact idea of how well they've done, because it will tell them the exact score they've got. If they haven't scored any right, so else, we want the quiz show host to say something like, you didn't get any correct. Try again. Okay, and he'll set that for 2 seconds. And then we're just going to link these two scripts up. Our script is almost ready to go. All we need to do now is input the code for getting the Quizmaster off the stage. So to do that, what we need to do is, first of all, select the motion button and point in direction of -90 degrees left. Just make sure this button is selected here so he doesn't spin around like so, but turns around to the left side. Then what we want to do is change costume. So he's starting to walk instead of facing the audience. And then after that, to save us having to type out all the code again, we can use the same code that we made here, and I'll just copy that, duplicate it, put that code back, and then drag this down here for how the sprite will walk off stage. And then we'll hide it, hiding the sprite, point back in the direction that he began in, and then we'll stop running the script. So that's pretty much ready. We're just going to quickly check how it runs. So let's click on the green flag. And what we're doing here is just seeing if there's any bugs or anything that doesn't work properly so that we can address that now. Okay, question 1. What is the common name for a computer screen? So I'm going to deliberately put the wrong answer. See what happens. That is not the correct answer, but doesn't tell us what the correct answer is, which it should do. So there's a bug in our script, so let's see what that is. Just looking now. Yeah, and here it is. That is not the correct answer. The correct answer is, but there's no time there. So we should have picked the say for 2 seconds. So I need to take this out. Looks. Put that in there. So that there's that pause in which the Quizmaster has time to say what the correct answer is. So now, with that bug fixed, let's run it again. Once again, I'm going to deliberately put the wrong answer. And this time it tells us the right answer, which is what we want. Okay. Put the correct answer there. That is correct. Question number 3. Mouse. So it should tell me that I've got 2 points. Let's see. Well done, you've scored 2. And he's walking off stage. So there we have it. That's our quiz game, and it can be very easily adapted by changing the questions and adding more questions, and of course changing the background and script and sprite. So it's very easy to adapt and can be really useful in the classroom as a fun activity, and it gets children engaged in coding as well. Thank you.